Alright, so the question of today is this going to be the new mid-range archetype for Timeless? Obviously things change, but for now, this is something that could potentially be decent. At first glance, when I played against this on the ladder, I thought that I was facing Dredge with Prized Amalgams and Bloodghasts hitting the bin early with Stitcher's Supplier. However, this deck is so much more than that. This is a really cool build that revolves around the effect of Satoru the Infiltrator, a 2-mana 2/3, which is nice, with Menace, and basically whenever any creature that you didn't spend mana for enters the battlefield, you get to draw a card. And that's actually super good with Prized Amalgams and Bloodghasts in the graveyard. We're going to be discarding things with Psychic Frog out of our hand if any of these things make it into there. Milling with Stitcher Supplier, also that we can grief our opponent, reanimate grief our opponent, bring back a Psychic Frog or Satoru when it dies. We have Chthonian Nightmare to do all these things as well. Again, over and over, we can reanimate Stitcher Supplier, loop it with Chthonian Nightmare in order to fill our graveyard. And then once we have that and we have some creatures on the battlefield, we have some really powerful things that we can do. Prized Amalgam, surprisingly, pitches both to Flare of Denial and Flare of Malice. I say surprising, but that's really not the case. It's obviously blue and black. But both of these cards, when you get to cast them for free, are actually really strong. Flare of Malice can deal with your opponent's Atraxas or whatever in case they're a reanimation deck. Any of the Sorin, drop a Saint Alendra onto the battlefield, this answers. Flare of Denial similarly is going to answer your Omnishows type deals. Whether or not we'll be able to do that soon enough for it to matter is a different question, but we will see. And then really what it's about is leveraging Satoru, making sure that Prized Amalgams and Bloodghasts come back, and really just profiting from there. Otherwise, this is a pretty strong deck. We have recursion elements with Chthonian Nightmare and Reanimate, Brainstorm for card advantage, and really we're just tuning it all together. The notable thing in the land space is the Mystic Sanctuary that can get back Flare of Denial, Flare of Malice, Reanimate, or Brainstorm, which are all nice to haves. It will be potentially a little difficult to find the 3 other islands in order to make this work, because we're a primarily black deck that does have 4 fetches, but really we're just looking for the 4 Watery Graves and the Undercity Sewers in this deck. We'll see if we can make it work, but for the most part, we are expecting to play the cards that we are given. With that being said, this is a quick and short deck tech. You guys seem to like those more, so we'll hop into it with what I'm calling Satoru Dredge Flares. It's very declarative and very descriptive, rather. But yeah, anyway, let's hop into round 1. Make sure to like and comment on the video. Subscribe if you're new for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Let's get in there. Let's grief some opponents, and let's cast a lot of things that we didn't pay mana for. All right, here we go. Round 1. That's a Satoru in the opening hand. We also have Prized Amalgam that can eventually do its thing. I am interested. If we find a frog, this is great. Put this in tapped. Say go. We can go Satoru, or we can go Bloodghast. Let's attempt a Satoru. Or should we attempt Bloodghast? I will attempt Bloodghast, actually, instead. I'd like to at least get 1 draw out of my Satoru before I do anything crazy. If they kill the Bloodghast, our next land will be valuable as well. I'd like to play a Prized Amalgam and kind of get this loop going before I drop the Satoru. When you keep your opening hand with any sort of removal, a Bloodghast is really not what you want to be using it on, so. Opponent is thinking. Even in these sort of dredge decks, you're really not just playing a Bloodghast from hand, or rather, for that matter, keeping a hand with Bloodghast in it. There's so many better things to do. Maybe my opponent's just not even here. Nope, they are here. They will sack their Polluted Delta, find something. Tapped Raucous Theater. Do they untap into a Sorin? Flare of Malice would fix that off the top. Nice, we got them to bin a Galvanic Discharge, so they are knowing that we have a relentless force of Bloodghasts coming through. So if it's red-black, then with Galvanic Discharge, It could be some small creatures. It could be some mid-range control type things. Who knows? We see more red-black, which makes me think probably creatures are coming. Really slow rolling me here. This is Amped Raptor. That Galvanic Discharge that I just saw? No, DRC, sure. Alright, well, Reanimate's certainly nice. No land, though. You hate to see it. Knowing that Galvanic Discharge is out, I really want to wait on the Satoru and maybe bait out one potentially. We always attack in here, even if, especially if we have a land, but since we don't, this is fine. Oh, I suppose that's a thing that could have happened. We do have Reanimate to bring that back, but I will just go Bloodghast here. Alright. Not great. Not a great start by any means. Phyrexian Tower. We'll need to get rid of this Bloodghast, or this Amped Raptor at some point. That is being a problem for me. Unstable Amulet, okay. Classic red energy. Wonder where the black comes into. Maybe just Chthonian Nightmare. A breach deck. What are we value breaching for? I see Orcish Bowmasters. And the bolt goes into the bin. They're clearly not prioritizing removal, which means they either have it in hand or don't care. There goes a DRC. Don't like to see that. We take 5. Reanimating this Mishra's Bubble is great. If I draw a land here, which I did, that's perfect. Oh crap, I should have Satoru'd first. Because I'm going to reanimate bringing back one of their creatures. It is what it is. We go Satoru. A little less effective, or a little bit less efficient. And now we go Reanimate, targeting Bowmasters. That'll take out Amped Raptor, which means now I have good attacks. Trigger. And we get a card out of Satoru, so that was worth it. Grief is kind of huge. I'm happy to pitch one of my 2 prized amalgams. Alright. Let's see what we hit. So we know we have pitch, cast, Flare of Denial if it comes down to it. We don't want to do it, but we can. Amped Raptor, scary. All of these things, to be quite honest, are pretty scary. I think I take one of the Raptors or the DRC. The DRC is potentially more of a problem. However, also Underworld Breach, not a thing that I'm very excited to see. We know they already have one, so I might just let them have this one. I think we take the DRC for now. Oh, I actually should have totally taken an Amped Raptor. That's potentially a misplay. We're 2 out of 3 in terms of lands here. We'll attack in, hit them to 17. It's not great, but it's not the end of the world. So I think I want to be able to cast Flare of Denial, but I like my Satoru. Here's the thing. I don't think I am bringing back any creatures next turn. So Flare of Denial is okay. But then they just go Raptor, Raptor, so it's like, that's not great. Are they going to sack the DRC? Why would they ever do that? Is it the Breach turn? Oh, they're looking for Breach here. Yeah, so I hold the Flare of Denial for Breach now, that I know that this is their plan. If they Amped Raptor for value, it is what it is. Alright, that's Phyrexian Tower mana. Dark Writ, sure. And will this be Breach? Oh, they can Breach twice. Do I let them have a Breach? Yeah, I'm gonna take them off of red mana. Alright, let's make this hard for them. Go to 7. Breach again, sure. So now 3 mana here. Can't play any red stuff. I'm happy. No filtering either. This is Bobble, that makes sense. Or are they just gonna value breach for like 2 cards? It's admirable. Really feels bad though that I've lost my Satoru. Alright, so I think we've actually made this turn pretty bad for them, despite it not really feeling good for us either. Bobble for a 3rd time, sure. Alright, breach goes away. So they're left with nothing on the battlefield. We get to grow this Bowmaster's token quite a lot. They're going to be hurting. Phyrexian Tower, Prized Amalgam, all things that we will do. Now I have Phyrexian Tower to kill my Bloodghast at any time if I, for some reason, need to do that. We have lethal next turn. They cannot draw. Or they can draw if they want to. It's probably a bad idea. Feels not so terrible what we're doing here. Without really any of our canonical mill things like our own Stitcher supplier. Okay, so this was just an Underworld Breach Storm deck, I see. And that is probably the diabolic intent that they used to find tendrils with. Make Phyrexian Tower, sure. Galvanic Discharge, they don't keep. It's multiple of those down. Unstable Amulet, they're just going to try to kill me here. 3 mana to do it with. What will this 1 Unstable Amulet hit? It'll only be able to put me to 2. It needs to be direct damage. Lightning Bolt. It's a land, let's go. Well, they have 2 Ampteraptor hits potentially now. Actually, yeah, 2 attempts to win the game actually with Ampteraptor. Galvanic Discharge, fine. Bowmasters has done its work. They're at 1 now. And what will it be? They can kill all the Bloodghast they want. Yeah, this basically is going to have to be it right now. DRC, not it. Now they have to go Ampteraptor and hope to hit. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, okay, fine. They can cast DRC if they want, but they need to do it through Ampteraptor, I think. It needs to find a kill spell. Bowmasters doesn't do it. Okay, so this just puts me to 2. That's fine. I don't die. You get a 3/3, that's whatever. And now they can't cast Ampteraptor, so I think I win. Unless they have a land drop and they just... okay, fine. It looks like we had it. I think for me... the win there, or the like highest percentage play there, is to go Ampteraptor because they can hit a direct damage spell. I think I saw Lightning Bolt at some point. Maybe I didn't. Or did it get exiled? Yeah, no, they do play Bolt. Okay, so I don't really know if that was the highest EV play there. But anyway, here comes round 2. Let's get in it. Okay, it's round 2. Things went good the first game. It was kind of awkward losing my Satoru. Chthonian Nightmare now is really, really decent if we can find another creature. I would like to keep this hand. We get a Surveil with Polluted Delta. And then we go turn 2 Frog or Satoru. Super down for this. Looks like we'll lose Satoru here, though, but it's fine because if Satoru is brought back with any of these reanimation abilities, Satoru will trigger on the way in, which is great. However, if they Thoughtseize my Satoru and then surgical it, we're in a whole nother world of hurt, but we did win a game without that just now, so it is doable. They just take my Brainstorm, sure. Delta. Fine, a Surveil. Satoru number 2. We'll put one in the grave, leave one in hand. So we can go Frog, discard Amalgam. Okay, this is pretty solid. Okay, so they need to take Frog here, otherwise we have a good next turn. Ah, dang. They know what's up. Drowned Catacomb, let's go Satoru. See if they can remove it. Okay. Let's attack with Satoru. A Bowmasters does blow me out here. Edict, fine. This just goes. So now we'll just work on getting another land, maybe playing Chthonian Nightmare. Ooh, not gonna happen. Amalgam, or actually I want to put Chthonian and a Flare back. Flare can go on top. Then we attempt to resolve Psychic Frog and just bin a bunch of prized Amalgams. Oh crap, it's Karn. Okay. It's a good thing this is an enchantment. Oh, Karn Liquid Metal Coating ruins me here though. Let's see if they have the presence of mind to do that. They're thinking about Grafdigger's Cage, which is actually really good against me. Or, you know, any sort of those kind of things. It was actually Grafdigger's Cage. Okay, so we have to play Psychic Frog here, and then we just have to pitch cast the prize. Or we have to pitch cast Flare of Denial. Okay, fine. So we're going to triple Psychic Frog. I don't need to hold full control here. We will discard. They're holding priority on something. I would love for them to commit another thing. Alright, discard. Yeah, this is going to be great. They have something else that they can activate at instant speed. Alright, so then now we go Flare of Denial. They're, I think, a little curious as to what I'm doing. We target Grafdigger's Cage, sacrificing Psychic Frog. So we actually got a 2-for-1, or a 2-for-2 here. Or 2 for 2.5. Not the worst thing that I've ever done. And now if they don't hit my graveyard here, I Chthonian Nightmare and bring something back as soon as I get a creature. They have a Tormod's Crypt. This is absolutely ruined for me. Oh, Inquisition takes my Chthonian Nightmare. So we're just in top deck mode against a Karn. Well, that sucks. They can even wait on the Stormod's Crypt. Yeah, they know what's up. Chthonian Nightmare. They may not realize that I need a creature to cast this. Or to activate it. They didn't need to fire off Tormod's Crypt now, but it's probably smart of them that they did. Fine. Alright, well, now we are left to rebuild. What does Karn do? Karn pluses does nothing. They have 4 mana and stuff to do with it. The One Ring. Well, that's a way to break parity right there. Looking like round 2 is not going to go our way. Polluted Delta. Let's fetch and surveil. So how do we break back into this game? A Psychic Frog could work. Sure like to have a Bowmasters right now. That could be a good addition to this deck. One Ring hits me for 4. Ouch. At least it's not being used for card advantage, which I'm surely behind on. Karn can minus again, get something annoying. Here is Psychic Frog. If we ever get a card that we don't like or they make us discard, we discard a Psychic Frog and that feels nice. Bowmasters. Did I 2 of those? Dang. Not much we can do. I think opponent's got our number here. Although with another creature we can start to Psychic Frog. Or we can bring back a Psychic Frog. There's the Liquid Metal Coating, and I think it's over. We effectively have 2 mana on our turn. They have a lot of creatures. More One Ring draws. Yeah, okay, I think we just kind of got bowled over by a Karn. Opponent had pretty good trigger discipline on the Tormod script, and we just couldn't pressure Karn. Yeah, more or less that's it. Bloodgust, alright. Bloodgust, I'd rather have this other creature. But then I would have something in hand to discard. Okay, sure, that means that this can eat something. We pass. Then we lose a land here. I think this is like more or less over. I'll stick around a turn or two. I think this go for the throat's probably going to do it. We lose pretty slowly here just to a liquid metal and then 4 damage a turn. I think this is one of the rare occurrences where I will concede to save us both some time. Round 2 got kind of steamed over by Mono Black Karn. That's a strong deck. That is what it does. Here comes round 3. Okay, this is round 3. Psychic Frog, Prized Amalgam, Double Chthonian Nightmare. That's not terrible. Not great, but it's not terrible. I'll try it. Blood Crypt. Watergrave or Undercity Sewers. I'll Surveil first. This potentially sets me up for Reanimate. I do need to hit lands eventually. Alright. We'll keep 2 Brainstorms, hopefully hitting a fetch land. Blood Crypt, Marsh Flats. Let's see if I can have a Psychic Frog. Swamp Cycling. Will they reanimate? I would like to reanimate. I'm going to reanimate on my turn if they don't do anything about this. Marsh Flats. What color do you find? Is it more red-black? Okay, so this is Mardu. Probably the Vampire Sorin deck, I'd say. Damnation Godless Shrine, love to see it. Or I guess that's the Infinity one. Anyway, let's get in there. And turn, what nastiness do you have for me now? Thinking I'm gonna need to find a Flare of Malice. Shock is a Sorin. Oh, just a Fable. They're going very fair here. That can't block, or that can't attack effectively into my Psychic Frog, so I'm happy to see that. I mean, I can just yoink one of their reanimation creatures. I would like to draw a land here. I actually can reanimate 2 things now. Let's look for a land first of all. We found a lot of lands. I can shuffle away 2 things. We'll get rid of 1 Chthonian Nightmare. And 1 Undercity Sewers. And then this one is only my graveyard, so I could potentially shuffle in my Prized Amalgam. I think I'll keep it in my hand because I'd rather discard it to Psychic Frog. So I think we just get rid of the Surveil land. Okay. Doesn't matter the order, we're fetching it away anyway. And then it's just reanimate. Thank you for your troll. I'll go to 12. Looks like they have something to say about it. Pitchcast Fury, Surgical. Oh, alright. I could try to dig for a flare, but I don't think I care that much. Alright. And I don't think that my own Prized Amalgam is really worth it. We're definitely fetching here. I'm going to look to Surveil. Another Chthonian Nightmare. I don't think it's what I want. I can attack. Is giving them mana a scary thing? I think I'd rather have card advantage. Alright, so if they block, then they lose their creature. Otherwise I get a card. Tough choice. And I have great fodder for this thing. They will block, okay. Discard prized amalgam. Alright, and we will take that trade. Beautiful. And turn. That feels nice. Let's see if they load me up for another reanimate here. A grief hits the bin. Will they reanimate that? I'm happy to reanimate it. Lightning bolt. Well, let's put a card in the graveyard and make them have to spend another card to kill it. Happy getting rid of a watery grave. I think I'm okay with that. Likely to be able to find a land anyway. Frog goes the 1. Will it be another bolt? I don't think I'm spending the rest of my hand in order to keep this frog around. It's done its job, taking 2 lightning bolts. So I can grief them, and then potentially Chthonian Nightmare as well even. Yeah, actually, taking their grief could be a good thing. It would be reanimatable again. Even if they have reanimate in their hand, they can't do anything about it. Not dead after all, so this was scam at the end of the day. Let's go with the reanimate first, take their grief. See what's in the hand. Fury Ephemerate. Ephemerate is potentially more scary than Fury. They kill my grief. They kill a lot of things. Okay, I think I'll take Fury. Then let's first brainstorm. Flare of Malice is nice. You can even take their Fury too. Wow, this is great. Yeah, maybe I just pump the brakes on Chthonian Nightmare then. We'll put 1, 2 back. Then I can reanimate tapped watery grave next turn, draw Chthonian Nightmare. Okay. Then I still hold up Flare of Malice. Next turn, draw Chthonian Nightmare. Yep. Okay, cool. So, tapped. Take your Fury. Aha, who's the scam deck now? Alright, we pass. So if they play anything, we Flare of Malice it. Even, we're probably also happy to just flare this thing. They can ephemerate it. That wouldn't do much. Yeah, I'm just attacking in next turn. This is great. Move to my turn. Chthonian Nightmare. We know we're drawing a land. We can also just hardcast Flare of Malice. We'll attack, see if they want to block the Fury. So we'll be Orcish Bowmasters here. So they'll need to resolve the first one. Yeah, I'm gonna let them ephemerate the Bowmasters first. Sure. They're actually gonna wait till after blocks. Okay, so they're gonna want to kill Grief this way. So I now need to wait for this Orcish Bowmaster's ETB to target the Grief. And then I will just pitch cast. Boom. Submit 1. Alright, cool. We love to see it, and then now this block's not very good. Okay, so they'll just chump. Sure. My draw next turn kind of sucks. If I bring Frog back, then I also get Amalgam. I think I like that. I think this is worth sacking the Fury for. Yeah, I think I would like a blocker. Nightmare again. We will wait till next turn to activate it though. Alright, so they can flicker the Bowmasters. That's not going to kill my Frog. which means that I can't block, but now their stuff doesn't have haste. Okay, nice. They could have bet on drawing other Bowmasters. It was a, that's one of the Phyrexian swamps, okay. My turn, so I can get a draw in with Psychic Frog. What would I bring back? I actually don't have anything to bring back, which is not good. Let's activate Frog. We'll get rid of lands. 1 land, 2 land. Reanimate is probably dangerous in this situation, so we get rid of that. Alright, let's see if we hit. Don't think this is going to matter. The extra damage, that is. Draw a card. A Brainstorm is huge, except that's going to probably kill me. Ooh. Maybe I don't do what I wanted to do. Okay, fine. We'll just stop the block. If we're ever in a situation where we can kill the Bowmasters, then we'll wait to fire off the Brainstorm. Things are getting close. They're looking at Prized Amalgam. They will bolt the Amalgam, sure. Fine. So now I really don't want to crack this off. I think I'll probably just take the Frog. Yeah, maybe I just take the Frog. All right. They're scared of me flashing something in. The Brainstorm can wait. Grief, that's huge. Hardcast Grief, that's just a good blocker. I think I will just take my natural draw and use my Psychic Frog as a blocker. Prized Amalgam can come back, but that's not the best use of it, so I pass. Hope their top deck wasn't very good. Just the land, sweet. Shouldn't be any attacks here. Good turn. Phyrexian Tower is something, but not really anything useful. I don't think I'm attacking with Psychic Frog. Same situation as last time. I pass. I can, if they ever keep anything in hand, I can sack Grief and then bring back Grief. Okay, fine. End turn. If I Grief, bring back Prized Amalgam, or sorry. Grief, sacked with Chthonian Nightmare. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. I'm at the end of my turn. I could basically have ended this turn with Prized Amalgam on the battlefield through 2 casts of Chthonian Nightmare. Whatever, all that matters is that I have blocks. Psychic Frog is waiting to make itself bigger when that becomes relevant. So now that they have something in hand, I'm going to do the Grief thing. Or Flare of Malice is not bad either. So, start by moving to attack phase. Offer a trade with the Grief. It will Ephemerate. I will respond to Ephemerate by... Will it be a hard cast? It will be a hard cast. Alright, they lose that. Ephemerate fizzles. I can now draw cards. If they block, I could consider doing something with it, but it doesn't have Menace, so now we Chthonian Nightmare. Bring back our Prized Amalgam. Oh, I don't have enough for this, so I'm actually going to cancel this, Brainstorm, and then try to make it work from there. Ooh, another Grief. I like that. 1, 2 can go into the library, but I actually want to have a land. Then we can pitch over the Grief, actually. Yep, and then we can Grief bring back Grief untapped. Alright, that was maybe not the best sequence that I've ever done, but now we have a Grief. That's fine. And we have a Prized Amalgam, which is the important part. Alright, cool. There we go. A little messy, but the sequencing got us there in the end. You can definitely play that tighter. Bad attack for them. Now we have attacks. Yep. Okay, so this is an easy block here. Now we can sack Prized Amalgam after we attack. Now we have no reason not to attack all in. Beautiful. Draw our card. It's a Bloodghast. Does Chthonian Nightmare not have good targets here? That is awkward. We can Phyrexian Tower, sack Prized Amalgam. We can also just go Bloodghast. And then we can go Phyrexian Tower, sacrifice, Chthonian Nightmare, bring back our Bloodghast. Bring back Prized Amalgam tapped. Boom, boom. Play Chthonian Nightmare again. And then we will let it sit here. Alright, cool. Let's see what their last card was. Does it dig them out of this? Well, Orcish Bowmasters is honestly pretty solid. Luckily for us, we can start to flicker things in and out of battlefield now that we have so much extra energy here. Yep, let's go. Beautiful. We will move to combat here. Put them nearly to death. They'll keep the Bowmasters, sure. And then let's sacrifice for 1, 2, 3, 4. We can get a Grief back, and Grief is our only option, so it will be the Grief. Target Grief, sack the Prized Amalgam. We got Blocker here, and then we can actually discard the Chthonian to Psychic Frog if we really wanted to. Cool. Alright, thinking we probably have it here. There is Lightning Bolt to worry about. Fable, that likely will not be it. I think we will have lethal. Alright, move to my turn. We're going to keep this Chthonian Nightmare in hand. There's the Satoru, which is going to kill me, so I'm not going to play it. But we were able to make it work. Alright, nice. Got not really the combo out, but a decent, strong game of Magic here. Fueled by Chthonian Nightmare, Psychic Frog, and Prized Amalgam. Kind of a neat little combo that we got going on here. Anyway, I'll see you in the next round. Alright, it's round 4. After a pretty long queue, we're getting back in it. It's the first time we've seen Flare of Malice in a while. And actually, it's also the first time that we've seen a Stitcher Supplier in the opening hand, so I think I will keep off the basis of that. Stitcher Supplier, can we mill something good? I'd like to see a Bloodghast in the graveyard. That is not what I asked for. I can Flare of Malice to kill a creature, which is nice. Ooh, it is potentially Belcher, sure. Well, this Flare doesn't do much. Move to my turn. We can go Stitchers again if we were feeling lucky, or we can go Satoru. I think I'll start with the Satoru, see if they have removal. Because I do need to draw into a counterspell at some point. Ooh, holding some interaction here. Wonder what we're pitching. Flare of Malice might be on the table again. Demonic Tutor, okay. I mean, this has to be for Belcher. We're looking for Thoughtseize now. Drowned Catacomb, not quite it. Chthonian Nightmare brings me back Psychic Frog, I like it. That does trigger Satoru as well. Okay. Move to attacks. Move to Chthonian Nightmare step. Wonder what they're holding priority on. Activate right away for X equals 2. Psychic Frog, we sack a Citrus Supplier. Mill 3, then Satoru things happen. That will trigger a Prized Amalgam, which is beautiful. Now we have something for Flare of Malice. We'll end turn. Alright. Now we're cooking. This is the engine, finally online. Took us till round 4. Alright, 3 out of 4 scary lands into play. And if we dump our hand, how much damage do we do? 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, and I even have Grief. That's beautiful. I think we'll do Hardcast Grief here. Yeah, it's going to be hard cast Grief. Alright, and that'll be enough. So I could have made this into a 5/5. That's 8, 10, 11. Could have been 12 with the Grief. So not enough to kill this turn. We could have still died to a Belcher. But with Grief on the draw, that was actually, as it turns out, really impactful for us. I think that might have just won us the game. Well, actually, I don't think they could. They would have needed to channel, and then I don't think it really works out. So anyway, we were able to take round 4. We were able to get the combo going, more importantly, with Satoru and things bouncing in and out of play with Chthonian Nightmare. That felt really strong. So let's go into round 5, try to do it one more time, and end on a strong note. Okay, 5th and final round. I want to get one more thing going with this engine here. Stitcher Supplier Chthonian Nightmare Prized Amalgam is mostly it. We will take it. Alright, so Mystic Sanctuary, not going to be a great start, but we do have Stitcher Supplier here. I do like that. I could have maybe played the Mystic Sanctuary first, but I don't know. We'll see. Sacred Foundry, sure. Alright, well, there's Mystic Sanctuary, sadly tapped. We'll attack. 2 things to discard in hand. Hopefully looking for a frog at some point. And what happens? Will they kill my Stitcher Supplier? They will with Galvanic Discharge. Red-white energy. 4 red-white energy. Might have a 3rd color, might not. We'll see. Darn, we lost a Grief Reanimate. That sucks. We can save up with Chthonian Nightmare. We can eventually get that Grief back. They'll do some energy things of their own. Okay. We're looking at a kind of annoying attack situation going on. Grief. Yeah, we found the reanimate for Grief. Let's look to put some cards on top. Ooh, Psychic Frog, also great. So we found a land. I can set up Flare of Denial, but I don't think that's going to be impactful. We can redraw 1 prized Amalgam. And then I want to probably play Chthonian Nightmare next turn. Flare can go on top. We want to draw that next turn. So we go Catacomb. Enters untapped, but that's fine. We just go Reanimate unless, is there anything else that I want to do? No. Okay, so Reanimate. Let's take a Grief. Tangled well with Guide of Souls at the very least, although they're going to be able to do pretty gnarly things to me. Static Prison, Jolted Awake, all these things are bad. So this is purely just energy aggro. Okay. Flage removes a good blocker, so I think I have to get rid of Flage. Static Prison eventually does tax their energy. Jolted Awake is a problem, but I haven't killed anything yet, and then these other ones are common, so I don't care. Alright, we take the Flage. They can hit me for 5 here. I think I just go Psychic Frog next turn, then the turn after that Chthonian Nightmare, bring anything back. Lots of energy here. Big attacks, alright. Not a good block for me. Okay, so Psychic Frog. I think there's no world in which I don't want to do this. I think I attack with this. Yeah, it's a bad trade for Hex Goldsmith, so I'm going to try to race them a little bit. They're at 15. My turn. We might lose to Static Prison here, which sucks. Unstable Amulet? No, that's actually pretty good for me. They hit me badly here, though. I can exile Reanimate. Yeah, I can exile a bunch of stuff and make a good Psychic Frog block. So they will go all in. Psychic Frog, discard. 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 Alright. You can gain first strike, I don't care. Will they pay? They will. What will they put the counters on? They will not put the counters, so then we'll exile 3 cards. Basically just not creatures, so I'll reanimate. We're not going to have the life for this, so we do that, a land, and reanimate. Alright, now we eat Guide of Souls. That's a great block. We go to 7. And we're good. We get to move to our turn. So here's Chthonian Nightmare now. Attack. Chthonian Nightmare. We're going to sack Grief. We want to bring back what exactly? I already brought back the Frog. I will bring back a Stitcher's Supplier for 1. Discard this. Now we can then bring back a Grief after. Huge. Should Psychic Frog attack? Probably not. They can jolt it awake a Guide of Souls. I have to stay put here. Alright. We have a lot of blockers next turn if we can survive. We have the engine, just no card draw outlet for it yet. Static Prison. What does Static Prison take? Psychic Frog. So I think I Flare of Denial. I'll pitch stacking a Prized Amalgam. That's what they're in the deck for. Makes my Flare of Denial free, baby. So now it's most likely Jolted Awake, getting that Guide of Souls. They're going to actually look for a response here. Fine. And now my Chthonian Nightmare looks super good. I bring back Grief. And that just basically works with the Prized Amalgams. This is lovely. So we've made this a really hard thing to manage for our opponent. We block with Stitcher's Supplier in every situation. One more land and they have Flage. Psychic Frog will not die to that. Stitcher's Supplier is fine if it dies, and Prized Amalgams will come back, so Flage is not particularly good for them. They're looking for Jolted Awake. Yeah, no real good plays for them. This is nice. Alright, we move into combat. They're actually passing through. That's great to see. Alright, Prized Amalgam. And we'll actually win it off of that. The did not need the card draw outlet in order to make this this momentum get moving. So that will bring us to the end of round 5 here. I think we ended with a really strong one. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was a really, really fun deck to play with. Overall, I thought we had some nice games today. The engine is really strong, and I can definitely see this one going places in the future. Prized Amalgams as fodder for Flare of Denial and Flare of Malice is something that I've wanted to make work for such a long time. I've tried it prior with the blood ghasts, and it never really worked out in the past. But now with Psychic Frog, I feel like this is something that can work. So really excited to see this one move forward. There's definitely some things that I think could be changed, but for now, it's a really solid deck, and would recommend you guys give it a try. Deck list always in the description below, so take a look at that. Subscribe if you're new for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and please do like and comment to help with the YouTube algorithm. That's all that I ask out of the way here. With that being said, that brings us to the end. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.